We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin. It's 2022 and we will be heading into the midterm elections soon. We've already seen a slew of Democrats retiring from mostly the House, but also a couple in the Senate. Now, this is generally seen as a sign that they expect to lose the midterm elections. The fact that the Democrats will lose the House and Senate in the midterm should come as a surprise to no one. Even if Biden was a great president and his popularity were high, in the past 100 years, the incumbent party has lost the midterms 98% of the time. So the Democrats would have an uphill battle in the best of circumstances. And we can't say that this is the best of circumstances for the Democrats. Biden has led the Democratic Party down the drain with both his incompetence and his kowtowing to the radical left. The media has ignored the truth of the Biden administration, which begs the question, if no one reports on a scandal, did it happen? Biden ran his campaign saying he had a plan to shut down the virus. Here's what he said.
I'm not going to shut down the economy. I'm not going to shut down the country. I'm going to shut down the virus.
Now, of course, he's changed his tune. He says the federal government can't do anything and pushes the responsibility to the states. Again, in his words.
He said, thank you very much. He said, look, there is no federal solution. This gets solved at a state level. I'm looking at Governor Sununu on the board here. He talks about that a lot. And it ultimately gets down to where the rubber meets the road, and that's where the patient is in need of help or preventing the need for help.
Now he's pushing the answer off on the states. Now, of course, he went after states like Florida for not following his mandates. Since then, most of his mandates have been struck down by the courts, and states that ignored him have lower case rates than the others. He claimed to have a plan, but clearly he had no such thing. He had no plan for getting testing rolled out nationally, nor did he have any Operation Warp Speed type plan for therapeutics. Aside from COVID, the media has largely ignored the debacle in Afghanistan, the Hunter Biden laptop and influence peddling, and the disaster at the border. These are all problems of Biden's making. Biden has an approval rating of 38% among independents. Now, the Progressive Caucus of his own party has said that if he runs in 2024, he will have a primary. It's unusual for a sitting president to have a serious primary challenge, but it has happened 3 times before. In each case, the sitting president held on to the nomination and lost the general election. The progressives have also strongly hinted that they will not support moderate Democrats in their re-election bids in 2022. This is clearly an attempt by the radical left to completely take over the Democratic Party. They've been marginalized in liberal and socialist parties for decades, and now they want their moment in the sun. The big problem the Democrats have here is that the progressives have been talking about popular programs like giving more benefits to seniors on Medicare and providing universal daycare. These programs are great in sound bites, But when the legislation hits committees, they are paired with incredibly unpopular ideas like expanding the IRS, more government control, and other wasteful spending. They want to create all of these new programs, but the existing programs are running out of money, and they haven't done anything to refund them. So we're spending more money than we have and letting the core programs fall by the wayside. Progressive policies like defund the police, bail reform, and critical race theory were soundly thrashed in the November 2021 elections across the country, even in very progressive cities and states. The tone-deaf progressives have said the problem is that they didn't get enough passed. No, that's not the problem. America has clearly said they don't want these policies. Worse, the progressives have no idea how government actually works. They push for Biden to make executive orders that would be thrown out by the courts because the president does not have the ability to simply make a law. That's the job of Congress. The fact that the progressives can't get their agenda passed does not mean you can do it another way. They want to eliminate the filibuster because the rules don't suit them. These rules are there to protect our democracy. And in the past, Chuck Schumer has railed against the removal of the filibuster, a position he has flipped on now that it doesn't work in his favor, and he's afraid of AOC primarying him for his Senate seat. Fortunately, moderate Democrats like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are standing in the way of plans to change the rules so the left can get their plans passed. So what does all of this mean for the midterms? Simply put, the Democrats expect to lose both houses. Chuck Schumer has said so himself, saying they have to push through as much as possible now because they won't be able to after the midterms. The signs point to a big loss due to the shift of the party to the left. There's a reason that Joe Biden posed as a centrist during the general election. The progressives cannot win a national election. Despite their claims, the Democrats lost seats in the House in 2020. They do not have a mandate from the American people. Fortunately, our founding fathers were smart enough to put in place systems to ensure that our democracy will survive this assault by the left to change all the rules to suit them. That's the raw, naked truth. You can catch every episode at xvadio.com/podcasts. You can also find us on the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Stitcher, Amazon Music, and wherever you find podcasts. We'll see you next time.